Ready, ready, ready.
Poesía, poetry, Greek meaning, poesía. I create, yo creo, conveying love, at times some anger, lyrical yet magical methods of manifestations. I love it. A way of remembering, holding on to memory, preservation is called poetry. Predating literacy in many languages, 9 elements of poetry, alliteration, assonance, consonants, figurative language, poetry. I love the imagery. Rhyme with me, feeling the rhythm, sometimes bongos, but today cover me. I'm going in with drums and violins. I'm Dr. Poetry. I dance while I write a stanza, choosing wisely my tone, bailando el son, escuchando la clave. Each feeling the recentering rapidly to the movement of my pen as I express my thoughts through poem. What many refer to poetry, but was Latin really derived from the Romans? Negative, it's from the Phoenicians. Latin realmente no derivó de los romanos. After all, aren't we all hermanas y hermanos? Honors to all languages as we keep creating. We may all be speaking, but are we really communicating? I see you over there playing investigator all in my hair. Pero yo no me ha muerto para que me estén velando. Entiendo lo que estoy falando, mi filia. Fica con calma, nene. No fica así, no. No fica con rabia, no. No one is shaming you for speaking different languages that connect us all. There's always truth in the lie, and I choose to rely on my frequency. But for me, it's the ability to express my thoughts in several languages. After all, the point of it all is to connect and not disconnect. Protection for the connection. Embrace my affection. In poética dieri, soy doctora poesía, soy la doctora poesial. Oh, ¿qué aconteció como lengua latina? Ella es extinta. What happened to the Latin language? Is it extinct? Is it dead? Está muerto. Que un mergulano inició de latín. ¿El donde veo? ¿De dónde vino? Phoenician derived, said the Romanos. So they added CIC to create a romantic language of French, Romanian, Spanish, and Portuguese. There's always truth in a lie, and I choose to rely on my frequency to embrace all dialects, accents that beautifully remind us of our diversified ancestry. Poesía sounds like a lot, right? I love it. Speaking Latin, Portuguese, and Spanish, but where did it come from? Phoenician. No one is shaming you for speaking different languages. Ninguém tá falando mentira, meu filho. Fica com calma, neném. Da mão não fica assim, não. There's always truth in the lie, and I choose to rely on my frequency. Frequency. Ninguém me está aborgando você por falar diferente. A linguagem que nos conecta a todos. Yo amo poesía con toda mi alma. Poesía. Feel free to hate on me. I'm Dr. Poetry, and I love poetry.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
What's
Welcome
going
back.
on, y'all?
Another happy Saturday. Another happy Saturday. Hear me out. Poetry.
Yeah.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome back.
I'm so
I
excited to be back.
That's right.
Are you? I got all this like lights over here, and I'm kind of like, I
You look
see
good.
the lights, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I don't know
You
why I
looking
see
good.
this. Thank you, Deb. So are you. Shout out to Granny Wowzer. Shout out to Deb Poetry. I'm Dr. Poetry,
Yeah.
and we are with the Hear Me Out Poetry crew. It is
Yes, that's right.
Saturday, Memorial Day weekend. We already know what that's like.
hmm
You know how that
Yeah,
goes. Memorial
I'm
Day weekend.
excited. I'm excited today. We got some interesting pieces. We got some really good pieces lined up for today. Shout out to the viewers. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to all of Hear Me Out Poetry and everything we got going on, y'all. Shout out to y'all. Give
Right.
yourselves a snaps out and a pat on the back for real.
Shout out to
Today,
Miss Cheesecake. She's getting wetter. She's getting better.
right? Today we
Yeah.
got some we got some
Over there.
special guests today. I'm excited to bring them on.
Yay.
Today, we got, one and only my brother, Mr. Nettles Owens, a Bronx native. He's a music
Hey,
an
Ooh.
actor and a
yeah,
life coach. And a life coach. Come on, y'all. He's working on his PhD in health sciences,
That's
exercise,
what I'm talking
sport
about.
science.
that's what
Isn't
I'm
that dope?
talking about.
I'm
That's
excited to have
right.
him on here today. We excited to have him on today. He's bringing a different type of, we always love Mr. Nettles Owens' energy. And you
So
know,
dope.
also we got Miss Angel Kim, aka Panda
Yay.
Kim. She's a mother, grandmother, mental health advocate, paparazzi jewelry consultant, small
Ooh,
business owner,
love
curator,
it.
promoter, and the poetry plug, y'all. She's
Of
the poetry.
course.
She was born in Seoul, Korea, but Texas raised, and that's how she earned the name Southern Soul. Given
Hey.
by Black Noise, the poet. She's the founder of Clubhouse, Club Love, and Lyrics, and where all creators come freely and express themselves through poetry and music. She
I
thrives
love
on positivity, inspiration, and encouragement while embracing uplifting others. She
I
mods
love
several spaces throughout Clubhouse that have the same values as she does and works behind the scenes with several spaces, including this one here on the corner. She does have a book out, and it's called Taste of Southern Soul, and is
Yes.
working on the finishing touches of her second book set to drop before the summer, God willing, y'all. If you want to connect with her, you can find her on Instagram under love_n lyrics.
Y'all
Shout
better
out
check her
to
out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Angel Kim too, and we're excited to have them on here today, y'all.
Yay.
I
Oh,
can't wait.
Yay.
I love that. I love
Uh,
it. I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. Can we bring
Mm.
them up?
Absolutely.
Can we
Let's
bring
bring
him
them
up?
on up. Let's
Let's
bring them
bring
Bring
on
him
him
up.
up.
in. Bring him in.
Hey, we got Angel.
Hey,
Nettles. Yeah. And
Ready? Do your
Angel
snaps out.
Kim. Snaps
Hey, hey,
out. Snaps
What's up,
hey.
y'all?
out.
What's going on, y'all?
what's going on?
I love her
Hey,
comment.
so
Huh?
Mm.
What's going on,
have you
y'all? I love Angel Kim. I love that. She's so soothing. Man, we got another Sade in the building. Where's Miss Cheesecake? Because Miss
I
that's
Cheesecake's
right.
Sade of
know.
poetry. She said, what's going on, y'all? I'm going to have to be the Billie Holiday of
Mm.
poetry. That was dope. Ooh, I
Hey, yo,
like that.
Nettles, we
What's
gotta
going
work
on,
on
Nettles?
something. We gotta work on a different entrance, man.
Yeah, we need some
Uh,
men stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna
hey,
hook it up, baby. We
hold
going.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. How y'all doing today? All right,
Listen,
I am
all right,
hollering.
all
look,
right.
this is
Wait, hold
you gotta go like
I
this.
love her voice, though. I love her voice.
You gotta go like
on.
this. This is deaf poetry.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh
that was good.
no.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Uh,
Hey,
Whatever you doing,
No, I
please.
like that one.
right? Me
Right?
too. Me too, Angel. I like that.
I'm
No,
trying to work on Angel. I'm trying
Yeah.
to work on late night radio.
ooh, the late night poetry hour with
Okay, you
Little
guys did
O.
yours.
You know.
I gotta do Granny
Angel
Wowzers, you
Kim.
know.
Come on, Granny. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, Granny.
Thank you for
You
having us. We appreciate it. Hanging with Angel Kim. She does
Nettles, but
everything.
Nettles, but
This
Granny's
is
about to do her voice.
Angel Kim who does
Can
everything.
we get
Nettles.
a second on real quick? Nettles, hold on, hold on.
Come on, Nettles.
Granny want to do her. Ooh, I want to hear it. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
You are tuned into the Hear Me Out Poetry here on the Alliance Network. Let's go.
Ooh. Ooh, I go.
Let's
Oh, I
go.
like that. That was sexy. Okay, I gotta put on my shades
That
now.
was all the
Y'all
way
ready?
sexy.
That was sexy.
Yeah,
Do a
that
little reading now.
pops.
I'm ready. Y'all ready?
Pops,
All
man.
right, all right. We got all our voices in.
No, I'm
Wait,
going.
Dr. Poetry needs to have. Come on,
Yeah, let's
Doc.
hear it. Let's hear it, Ducky.
You are watching, listening to, hear me out poetry. I love it.
Hey,
Ooh, mommy.
if we can't have fun, what's the point of the show?
I'm
You know,
saying.
Tell you.
Man.
I'm
Oh
saying.
my goodness.
But I
Yeah.
want to hear about Angel Kim right now, y'all, because
yes.
I've heard I'm gonna keep it a buck, like we say in the boogie down, right? BX Nettles,
Yes,
BX
yes,
Nettles,
yes.
BX.
Come
All right,
on, baby.
the boogie. I would say I'm from the South, and when they say from what part, I'd be like the Bronx.
That's right. That's right.
No, but let's get back. Let's get back. So, Angel Kim, you are a superstar
Yes.
because I've seen your work. I've seen it. I was just waiting. I'm a true cop. I've got the evidence, but I just want the confession. You know what I mean? And I want to hear you. And so I know you do a lot. I know you do a lot. And
Mhm.
we have a couple of I'm gonna try to see if I could bring that up. We have an audio of your poetry that you're reciting. And
Mhm.
I heard it and I love it. And I want
Nice.
you to tell us about it before we introduce that piece.
Well, I don't know about being a superstar, but I appreciate that.
I feel like you are.
Um, Well, I appreciate that. To be honest, I am putting me out there more this year. I normally play the background and boost others. That's what I've been doing for the past 4 years. But this year I'm making it about me.
Good for
The
you.
Mhm.
piece that y'all are going to be listening to is a piece that I've been trying to write for a while. But this year, I was finally able to get it out. It's
Okay.
a piece dealing with just being a African American mother in today's time,
I love
and
it.
having a son and what that's like from our standpoint. We hear poems and speeches and IG posts and all this on social media all the time from men and how they feel about what's going on with how they're treated in the world today and
Right.
some of the injustices that they have faced with racism and things like that. But it's time because the world's not listening.
Right.
So maybe if the
Mm,
mothers step in and finally step up and say, hey, these are our sons, this is how we feel.
That's
Let's
it right
let's
there.
now step up and speak for our sons because they're important to us.
I
So
love that.
that's where this
yes.
Yeah.
piece is coming from.
Just got
So
chills. I got
yeah.
chills because I actually heard it and I already had chills. Um,
Mm.
we gotta work on a video for you because I'm one of them people that I just do illustrations. I be like echoes, illustration. I'm one of those Nettles, and then I need Nettles to do the acting. You know what I mean? Because it's so deep.
Definitely.
It doesn't need anything. It just needs what
Mm.
you said. It doesn't need nothing.
Right.
But I'm
Yeah.
extra. I like to put the sprinkles on the donut. There goes the donut again. I know I'm not supposed to be eating donuts, but I'm just saying
That's okay. I
that
like
that's the
sprinkles.
I love sprinkles and I love glaze.
We
Like,
call them
it's
we
just
call them
Hmm.
Jimmys. What I
the
mean,
right. Yeah. So y'all
Yeah.
ready to hear some Angel Kim? And you know what I want to do?
Yes.
Angel Kim, I'm gonna try something new that I hardly ever do because
Okay.
I'm very new at this too. We all new, fairly new in terms of TV world. Hi viewers, how
Okay.
y'all doing?
Right.
Happy Saturday,
Hi,
viewers. How y'all doing?
Yay.
When y'all bringing y'all poetry over? We see y'all looking at our IGs and
Wow.
our
We
websites and stuff, leaving messages. We love you. We
Hey,
do.
we
yeah,
love you,
bring
baby.
it to us.
Hmm.
Let's go.
But I want to do something. So when I play this audio, I want her to be on here, and I don't know if you can, but sometimes I end up reciting when I hear my own stuff, and that's
Hmm.
fine. I'm gonna try something new, y'all. I'm gonna try
Oh
something new.
wow. Okay.
All right, it's okay. You're gonna be beautiful. Here we go. We got this. That's Angel Kim, y'all, and this is her piece, Sin.
Music, where you are the melody.
We're gonna try that again.
Miss
Don't.
Music, where you are the melody.
Black Skin by Angel Kim. They say we're born into sin. Like our melanin's a target. Bull's-eye painted in brown and black ink. But my son ain't commit no crime except existing in a world who already wrote his eulogy before taking his first breath. Stamped him guilty before his first cry. Before he even saw sun, they had his name chalked in concrete like prophecy they've been waiting to fulfill. I carried him with praying hands, rocked him in wound laced with psalms and whispered, stay safe, before he even knew what danger meant. But safety ain't promised when your skin's kissed by God's own lips. Instead, it's a gamble. Like Russian roulette waiting for bullet to leave chamber, or lottery where grand prize is survival and second prize is hashtag. Even though he's an adult now, ain't no safe spaces for him. Not even in his own home. Just ask Jenkins and Parker. Ask them how 6 badges kicked down their door, then act like they were enemy number 1. Again, only crime committed was wearing black skin, breathing in zip code deemed wrong for them. See, my son ain't gotta reach, ain't gotta run, ain't gotta do nothing but be, and that's enough to make a badge nervous, enough to make a trigger finger twitch, enough to make a courtroom fumble justice like a loose ball they never planned to recover. I taught my son, yes sir, No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Like armor, like gospel, like maybe if his hands are still enough, his voice low enough, his presence quiet enough, he'll make it home to me at night. But silence ain't Kevlar. It ain't never stopped a bullet from carving a mother's name into grief. Ain't never stopped a judge from shrugging their shoulders. Ain't never stopped a system for spinning the wheel and calling it law. So I pray. Each and every night I pray, not the soft folded hands Sunday morning kind, but the kind that begs, bargains, and breaks at altar of a God I hope ain't deaf to a black mother's cries. I pray his hoodie don't make him suspicious. I pray his laughter don't sound like rebellion. I pray his skin don't read like a death sentence in eyes of those who took an oath to protect and serve. I pray his son learns to say his name before he forgets his face, that I don't have to watch strangers march in his honor, that I don't have to hear his name echo in a courtroom while a judge sighs, shuffles papers, and moves on to the next. I pray ground don't ever have to learn the weight of his body, that I don't have to press my hands to casket's wood when I should be pressing them to his face, caressing his cheeks and telling him he's safe now. But how do you protect a son from a war he never enlisted in? How do you armor him when battlefield is in his own backyard? When the enemy got badges, gavels, pickup trucks, and lives next door, and rules say he loses either way? I tell him come home. Before streetlights hum their warnings, come home. Before a stranger mistakes his smile for target, come home. Before a cop sees his hands and swear he has a gun, come home. But what if he doesn't? What if a phone call unravels my whole world and I'm left screaming at the top of my lungs towards the sky above that never answers back because he never came home? They say we're born into sin, but I ain't never seen a sin worthy of a death sentence just for being born black. This is from the heart of a mother with a black son.
Wow.
Yo,
Wow.
snaps.
Oh my goodness. Angel Kim. He's right there.
That one gets me every time.
Yeah, I see why.
I needed her to be right there because this was so profound. When I saw this, Angel Kim, like my mom, like many mothers out there, but especially like we say melanin mothers out there, right? When I took the oath, when I walk the streets, it's the stuff that's coming out your mouth right here that made me be a cop. Because I grew up in the South Bronx. I grew up with the Amadillo Diallos, okay, Abner Louima, right? I grew up in that era, right? I saw it. I saw it in the boogie. I don't have kids though. And so when I hear that, to me, every time I intervene, I'm like, it's okay. You know what I mean? And every time I hear what you just said, especially when she said about the paperwork, like she doesn't even want her son to be called out, like the trial. Like, I remember, I'm a cop. That's what I do. When you go to courtrooms, when you go to, I see all that. So that's why I said when I heard this, my hairs were standing all over. It's like, I make sure that I don't have to use this. I pray every day that I don't use this. I pray every day that I don't have to use these things on anybody's son. Yeah. And anytime I see an officer doing the wrong thing, my nose flares up and I'm like, what you doing?
Yeah, and it's just
That what I'm
it's
saying?
the scary preparation,
Right.
for breaking it down, like
It
down
was
to the
profound.
you uh, values and yes sir, yes ma'am, implement that, instilling that subconsciously into your child, to be able to navigate the harsh realities of the world, subconsciously, um, strengthening your son. But at the same time, you know what it comes with. We all know
That's
what it
right.
comes. It's the realities of being of color, and being um I'm gonna say profile, but being you
Profiled. You said it right.
treated
Yeah,
They're being
that's
profiled.
what it is.
Absolutely. It is what it is. We
And
get
that's
trained on that.
exactly what it is.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. Say it with
And
your chest. They get profiled. Everybody gets profiled when it comes to some. Yes, yes. I gotta calm
And
down because
this
I hear
piece
it and
right
I'm like,
here, this piece right here comes from my son just turned 30 on the 19th, and he's had a gun pulled on him twice by police officers.
yeah,
hmm
And the funny thing is, he works in the correctional system as a CO.
yeah.
The first time it happened, he had on a uniform.
oh my God.
He had literally just had an accident. He didn't damage any property. He didn't injure anybody. The only thing he damaged was his car. And it was because he had worked, they had a lockdown. So he had worked extra hours at work, coming off of a 16-hour shift on, I think it was like his fifth or sixth day straight. And he fell asleep at the wheel and crossed over a T section and ran into a field, coming
Right,
a foot away from hitting a tree. And it was a huge tree. And the sheriff told him that if he would have hit that tree, he wouldn't have been alive. And one
wow.
of the
Wow.
deputies that pulled up after the EMT asked him, did he want to go to the hospital? My son told him no, no, he just wanted to go home and rest. Um, when he stood up, the deputy who came onto the scene seen him stand up and pulled a gun. And the EMT just happened to be a friend of mine who I went to school with, heavyset white guy, literally jumped in front of my son and was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, why are you pulling a gun right now?
Right.
And it made everybody turn around like, what? Why are you pulling a gun?
Why are you pulling a gun?
Wow.
Like, there's no threat here. But my
yeah,
son
and
is 6'6.5" and 280 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's a black man.
and fear, having the children and having the fear, or the concern that your child, but your son, your daughter don't make it home that evening. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, that's it's a daily struggle, it's a daily stress
Yeah.
because of society and the world. That's a piece that you put together. Like, I really felt that I've had my experiences as well, in the past, and I'm not gonna get too much into that right now,
Yeah.
but I actually had my experiences where, uh, in retrospect, when I looked at it all, you know, um, I as much as others was in the wrong, I always had to look at it. I had to end up looking at it like, what can I do better in that situation, also to to make sure I stay alive or come out of that situation, um, you know, in alive, in one piece. Um, and man, that's a real powerful piece right there, Queen.
Yeah.
Thank
It,
you.
Yeah,
it's
it's
it
powerful.
definitely attests to the whole point that our brethren with melanated, deeper melanated skin than the rest of us, they all have to give the I witnessed it. I have family, I'm a very well diverse family, and I've seen them give the conversations of clear Ziploc bag with all your information in it, put it on the dashboard, and when you get pulled over, that's the first thing you hand them. You don't give them any trouble, you don't ask any
Mhm.
questions, you just like, here's my information, and you wait for them to give you advice. Don't reach for anything, hands stay on the steering wheel or on top of the
Yep.
dashboard. And it angers me that that has to happen that way. So Angel Kim, this piece just it angers me. It angers me and it hurts my heart because we're human beings and you shouldn't ever have to feel that way. Not as a mother, not as your son going through the situation. You know, that's something that should never happen. And I'm really hopeful one day it won't ever happen again. I'm
But shout
very
out to
Definitely.
hopeful. Yeah, snaps
It's
out to you.
integrated into our kids' learning now. Like it's a
Yeah.
part of what we teach our kids.
Yeah.
And one thing we don't think of as a mother is um, when we're carrying our child is the dangers of the world that we're bringing them into. We're just thinking about the joy that it's going to be to have this child.
Right. And that's how it should stay. And we'll get there, but
Mhm.
snaps out to you for this piece because this piece, it's pieces like this and mothers like you who aren't afraid to tell your story in poetry or whatever
Right.
form of creative writing or expression that's going to make the difference because we need to
Yeah.
humanize. And it
Absolutely.
sucks we have to humanize, but we have to humanize. And then we got people like Dr. Poetry. You know, this is good for people like her too, because as far as a police officer, that's what I meant. Not
Right.
her as a person, because her as a person is beautiful. But as an officer, it's really good to get this point of view and to see this emotion too. It helps them just like it helps you. So
But
hopefully
that's
it'll all mix together. Because Dr. Poetry, man, she's amazing. If we had more police
Amazing.
officers like that,
I
it would be
appreciate
different.
Oh, I appreciate
Definitely.
that, yeah. I just want to say that before I was a police officer, I was afraid of the cops. Okay, I was
Mhm.
afraid of the police. I grew up in the South Bronx in housing, John Adam Projects on Tinton Avenue. All right, it was during the crack era,
Mm.
right? And racial profiling by police, I know is a serious issue that's been widely studied and discussed. Yet, research shows that the Black Americans, right? Black Americans are disproportionately affected by police stops, searches, and the use of force compared to other racial groups. We know this, right? We know that the Pew Research Center surveyed found that 84% of Black adults believe Black people are treated less fairly. But when they say that, it's like they believe, but we know that this is true. It's not that they believe, we know that it's true.
That part.
All right, because I grew up there. Before I was a cop, before all this, I was out there singing. And I say this all the time. I told that to DJ Chili Chill the other day. I used to sing 911 is a joke. Chuck D. Shout out to Chuck D. Because I saw what went down. I saw it. But I also saw good officers. I saw officers that saved my mother's life, saved my life. But we know that this is going to continue happening if we don't get the right police in the force. And I hate to use the word
That part.
force because even that title gives us a bad name. We don't have
Right.
to always use force. You know what I mean? We don't always have to use fatal force or all that stuff.
That
But
part.
your poetry spoke to me so much when I heard it. I'm not kidding. People think that, well, it doesn't matter, you're an officer, and that's okay. Everybody has an opinion. All right. But before I
No,
was
it
an
does
officer,
matter.
I was born and raised in this. I wasn't, you're not talking to a white girl from the valley. You're talking to a
Yeah.
Puerto Rican who grew up in the South Bronx, born and raised in project housing. They don't give a shit about us,
Yeah.
right? They don't. So
And
this
we
is why
know
we
there's
do
good
shows
cops.
like this.
Yeah,
That's
we
why we
know
do
there's
shows
good
like
cops
this.
out there. So yeah, this
Yeah.
this isn't for those
Hmm.
that aren't doing
Or
this. This is
doing.
for
Yeah.
those to
That are
pay
not.
attention to those that are not doing this. But like yourself, what I like what you said was that you correct others when you
Oh,
see it. We need
mhm.
more officers to do that and not just turn a blind eye to it,
Yes.
because I think that happens more often than most, because you can easily say, "Well, it's not me," but did you speak up
Oh
when you
God.
saw it, or did you
Omission
walk
is a
away?
problem. That's right. Omission is a problem. That's what
Yeah.
happened,
Yeah,
and that's what continues to happen in a lot of cases.
yeah,
You know what's interesting? In the area where I live, I work in an area where it's tourists, right?
mhm,
And I've been getting a lot of feedback from the tourists. They say, Puerto Rico, it's not like the States. When we pull
mm,
over anyone that's a tourist, and when I say tourist, they don't necessarily have to be black. It could be a New Eurekan,
yeah,
right? It could be, because that's a totally different culture, right? People think that
Yeah.
Puerto Rican and Puerto Rican is a different culture. And so when they come through and I pull them over, they really start doing exactly what she described. Okay. And I'm like, it's cool. You good? What's up? What you need? You all right? And it's like all they want is directions. And I'm like, no, I saw that your car wasn't, the light wasn't. And they getting nervous. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. You're good. We need this. There's this communication. So they don't feel that in Puerto Rico. Right? Puerto Rico, the problem we having is class struggles, poor and rich, and drugs.
Yeah.
It's not so much the race card out there. It's more y'all know the drugs, the issues, and the social classes. But
I've said this before. We need a Puerto Rico police department over here and teach them how to be, because man, you make it sound so beautiful, and I'm like, we need that.
We have knuckleheads.
In the United States,
no,
come on.
We have knuckleheads. Listen, we have a show called Floetic Justice. Okay, on here, Dr. Porgy has we have a Floetic Justice. It's on every Wednesday, and I'm gonna bring up some of these conversations. Okay, because I don't cover for no one. I may not be everybody's $20 bill. You know what I'm saying? I may not be everybody's favorite right now, but I'll keep it a buck. Because like I told somebody that I was working with, if you make that move, you're gonna have me call the captain right away, real quick, and we're gonna have issues here, because it's not even about the color thing or anything. It's about doing the wrong excuse my language, doing the wrong thing. You can't be doing the wrong thing on my time or any time. And so, yeah, we have issues. We have issues.
Poetry?
Everywhere we go.
I'm sorry.
Wait, I think Nettle's been trying to say something though. Deb,
no, it's funny because I'm sitting there trying to talk, and I'm like, why is it not? Nobody's hearing me. Nobody's listening to me. And then Dell said, "Hey, unmute your mic, Nettles." Oh, my bad.
I mean, thanks, Nettles, for making it back to normal. Okay, here we go.
I want to say something, right? And this is the honest God truth. It's not about being a cop, and it's not about being a correction officer. It's about having a bad spirit.
That's right. The energy behind it.
So, but listen, because her son is doing the greater good of being a CEO. So he has to. His life is in danger.
That's
so for him to come out his line of work out of danger into more danger is wild, disrespectful. First, especially when we're in the same line of work together,
right?
Which is to protect and serve and obey the law of the land, so therefore people can feel safe walking the streets.
Right.
I think people sometimes it goes back to deeper thoughts of who raised you. Like who raised you? You got a prejudiced mother, prejudiced father, so you're going to naturally be taught how to hate against a certain group of people.
It becomes generational.
It becomes generational. We're gonna let's cut the board. Let's go back into the white sheets and the crosses, right?
Right.
That never changed. It just uniforms change. But some people who are in those uniforms, like Dr. Poetry, are the greater good. You just get caught in the effect of it, right? So if you get caught, now her son comes and one officer says, "Nah, he good." One officer is superior to the other officer, so he obeys and bows down. He might be the sergeant, or he might just be a private, so he follows suit. Because am I betraying my band of brothers if I don't agree to what I'm doing? Am I going against the force? If I go back to the precinct, are they going to hate me? Now he's one of them good guys, really good guys.
Yeah. Well, what is about corruption? Because see, like I do this, and again, I don't have too many friends. I'm not going to get into it, but y'all hear it on the show. When you start saying things like, "Oh, you want me to do that? Isn't that illegal? Isn't that unlawful?" That's corruption. My big Bronx mouth comes out.
Right.
That's corruption, though. That's corruption, though. Also, you want me to change that statistic because it was this that was happening? Oh no, you got me fucked up. I'll say something like that. Then there's like,
and that's why I love her.
And then it's like,
that Bronx came out strong.
Oh no, it'll come out. It'll come out. I'm a lady, but when it comes, and I hardly ever have to do that. And I have to say this, I hardly have to do that. I've had to do that. I could count with this hand when I had to do it.
Is that because they kind of know you
State
and
police.
your energy? They know you already, so they're kind of like,
Well, I'm
not
I'm
this
I'm
one.
considered I'm considered a gringa, right? So
Oh,
I'm already
okay.
coming in with Fed vibes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So they're
I'm
extra
coming in with
tippy
Fed
toed.
vibes. I'm
I
coming in
got
And
you.
with
and that's another thing. What she just
But
said.
that's good.
That's another thing. That's another thing. Granny just brought up a point. It's your energy,
rap.
how you approach a situation, and that's just you ain't gotta have no blue suit on.
Nope.
If somebody come with you wild disrespectful, your intuition is gonna come back at them. If you're
Right.
that type of person, somebody
Right.
jump back. So it's just we intervene the job, and no way, no how should her son have to go through something like
Not
that.
at
He's a
all.
bad apple, right?
That's right.
Because it shouldn't just happen. We're here on this earth to share it. Nobody is bigger than nothing. We all got a destination. We all got a purpose, and we got to leave this. But let's try not to make somebody leave too early
Yeah.
before their time. Nobody wants to bury a son. Nobody wants to bury a daughter.
That's
Nobody,
right.
and that's on both sides of the law. But
Right.
when
Interesting.
somebody is non-threatening, and I worked 16-hour shifts, and I wasn't a CEO. I worked for the state of New York, and 16-hour shifts, and you woke up 7 in the morning, and you might have to wrestle, or you
I
might have to do.
know.
That takes a lot of energy out you.
A lot.
So
I
when
know.
you drive, now you got to drive yourself home, and you might live 45 minutes away.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they compare drowsiness worse than drinking and driving.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Your
Exactly.
last, what,
Yes.
like few.
Especially when you're doing it back to back, back to back. So 5 to 6 days
Yeah,
straight. Think
That's
about
right.
it.
I
I'm
did
aware
that.
of it.
And the thing is, too,
Done that.
they'll tell you pull over if you feel sleepy behind the wheel. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't know: when you pull over, you can still get arrested for being pulled over to the
Yep.
side of the road being asleep.
That part.
So it's like, where does it make sense and be equal? At least out here in LA, they do it to us all the time. I know because I'm a person. When I used to work overnight shift at the airport, I would pull over when I started feeling myself go like this. I was like, oh hell no, pull
Right.
over.
What?
I set an alarm for like 10-20 minutes, and I got a ticket and was told I could have been arrested for sleeping on the side of the road in my
Right.
vehicle. And I said, it doesn't make sense. They tell you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Areas
That's a
like
lot.
Well, not only
that's
that, you're not safe because people have gotten robbed, people have gotten killed by pulling over as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
By other
You,
people.
you
And
have
then
to go. You have to go to like a park and ride if it's around you, or somewhere like in a parking lot, like at a supermarket, somewhere.
even the parking rides. When it comes to this, you gotta understand. Those in scenarios like this, you gotta understand and learn your rights and learn the law, right?
Listen.
Because, um, you know, you can go. The thing is, a lot of law enforcement, let's say, they're enforcing policy. So if you don't,
Mm-hmm.
when they're a lot are trained to talk to you, so for you to hold yourself in contempt for whatever it is, right? So you can't have a regular conversation. You gotta know your rights and you gotta know the law, right?
That's
So
right.
and when it comes down to things like that, you could get arrested if you put yourself in contempt or you don't know what to say, right? Because in those scenarios, no one is above the law. They could protect it, but you just gotta in scenarios like that, we gotta educate ourselves and be able to
Study,
have
study, study.
have to cover ourselves, right? Because if it's our God-given right, if it's our rights, we have to even learn how to verbalize it as well.
Man.
Because if not, it'll be anything you say or do, will be used against you, right? You got to
Even,
be.
even saying what he just said, even saying, do you understand what was been said? When you say you understand, you already signed.
Right.
Okay. And you know what, guys? We got to keep going, but this
We
is
do.
a great conversation.
Yeah, great
This is a
combo.
Yeah,
great
it's been
conversation.
great.
We got to take this to Floetic Justice, y'all. I think I'm going to invite all of y'all to
Go.
Floetic Justice. Can you book all of them to Floetic Justice? And I'm going to, We have to
Don't
have
get me started.
Poetic Justice. That's a poem. Oh my God, we need to have her on Poetic Justice.
Yeah, that was beautiful, Angel Kim.
I'm gonna
Dag,
change
man, you
it.
starting to show off. You starting to show off with tears.
Oh,
I'm telling you, man. Angel Kim, man. You starting to show off with tears, man. I'm telling you, baby.
No,
You
that
know,
was
it's beautiful.
that was amazing.
But
That's
damn,
what a intro, right?
right. Oh my
Welcome to Hear Me Out
Right.
Poetry, y'all. It is Saturday,
God.
and we
that's
just
right.
finished listening to Angel Kim, and we had a
Yeah.
very lovely conversation. I feel like this conversation needs a part two. We need a part two,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah, I
Right.
love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Man, thank y'all for having me, man. I could be
Shout out
anywhere
to
in the
you.
world.
We love you. We love
Yeah.
Nettles.
I love
Nettles,
y'all too.
I got something here, Nettles. I'm gonna play this before I go to Granny's piece because we're trying to balance the room. Right? We're gonna balance
You
it out.
gonna make me cry too?
Balance it out. We're gonna balance the chakras.
Granny gonna make me cry too? Let me go get my Kleenex box. Damn it.
No, I ain't gonna make you cry. You gonna get mad.
Y'all probably want to go to the gym and lift weights.
Yeah.
All right,
Get this
now we got
frustration out.
My views are mine alone.
because I know it made me want to do a couple of push-ups. I was in there like, all right, but it made me bring out this poem because there's a lot of things that we have to change, right? It's a lot of things, and I'm often saying I'm often talking about changing my status. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, you shout out to those who know. If you don't know, this poem is about that right here. It's about just changing my status. All right. And a lot of this is going to help us understand a couple of things. Hopefully it does. All right. Enjoy.
Let's go.
Nationality is the order of the day. At least that's what I know. And I often hear my baby Doc Bay say, the mirror is in your face. Therefore, with reluctancy, at first and now willingly, I face the reality. And what does that even look like? It looks like me taking full accountability, no longer existing in fallacy. I mean, how am I supposed to proclaim my nationality if I didn't even notice how I was hidden in the shadows? You know, my straw man identity. You see, exiting the money game matrix, me matri, connecting to the matri. I know I want to live in my living natural me operating in private me, not the public straw man me, the one that surrendered all her rights for some crumbs called privilege. I signed the nature of me participating, pledging my life to function as a debtor when I was really the creditor, dishonoring my ancestors for artificial constructs called corporations for a fraudulent nation. The dead cannot bury the dead. The fact that all of this has been in society for 100 years, keeping me distracted in many forms of entertainment, and I'm not paying attention. Shit, ignorance of the law is no excuse. I'm not exempt. There's no justification. Yet I chose to believe the banksters that created the educational systems, calling me a bastard with a just over broke mentality. The JOB, it's all about commerce. But I have to change my mindset first. So I need to study, in understanding what proclamation truly means to me. After my declaration, me, the living life, natural me who never functioned in this society, there's no place for me in this society. And I'm not asking you or anyone for permission. This is my proclamation. Proclamation. I'm communicating unambiguously, putting this on public record, standing through affidavit, talking to the system, standing on law, no longer in dishonor but in honor, placing a lien on my damn straw man. Any liabilities or suits that are addressing me, take the charge of this dead man's straw man and transfer that debt to my unlimited credit. Legal versus lawful. It's awful to see how I was played and manipulated with the legalese. Here's to taking accountability while I begin the process of proclaiming my nationality. I'm Dr. Poetry. I'm just saying. That's what I'm talking about. If y'all, I'm just saying, thank y'all. Y'all got a little bit of what I was trying to tell you. Y'all muted.
Right.
Am I muted?
No,
Okay.
you're not muted.
Oh, you're not
We
muted.
hear you.
Yeah. So y'all understood what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got to correct our status, but that's a different build. But we got to get into it. You see, because that comes with a lot of stuff. And we need to know exactly who we are, so we could understand if we, and I say me, I speak for self. If I continue operating on the desk drawer, man, then everything's gonna keep happening, and we're not gonna know what's happening, and they're gonna keep you just having a job, just over broke mentality.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
y'all can
Um,
find that over at
I want to
Apple
talk
and
about
all
that,
streaming
Doc.
platforms.
I want to
Mhm.
talk about that, Doc.
Go ahead.
You talk about being robotic. You talk about being robotic and being compressed down to where you feel that if somebody keeps saying you're nothing, you can't do this, you can't do that. Why are you doing that? Now you got to take accountability yourself because you're responsible for yourself to say, you know what? I damn sure can do this. I damn sure can do that, and I have every right to do this just like everybody else does, right? Because the people made their laws. See, it's called their laws, right? Ain't nobody Superman, Superwoman. Nobody put the father didn't put nobody in charge of the world.
Mhm.
He just said be amongst the people.
Mhm.
A certain group of people said, well, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna be in charge of it, and you can't have this and that unless I said you can't have this and that. And the
Right.
rest of the world went along with it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I gotta go to your bank, try to get your money to try to buy a house, which you probably gonna say no, or you're gonna give me a credit, credit scores, right? So my credit score got to be 800. Ain't no way in hell my credit score gonna be 800. Well, even if I apply something, you want to squeeze it down and take 60 points,
Mhm.
right? So now I'm in the state of mind like, yo, I can't get nothing, but we ain't take accountability to study and see how we can change these laws.
That's what I'm saying. Or just start even how you define law and legal, legal versus lawful. We know that legal pertains to what's permitted, what's prescribed, what's recognized by statute or legislation. We know that lawful refers to something that's in accordance with the law in a broader, more natural law, constitutional sense type
Right,
thing. And so
Right.
we interchange those often, and they're like, oh, that's illegal. Is illegal or is unlawful? And we
right.
put
It's
it
a
all
difference.
together. And so those are the things. So if we want to know what the officer, I think somebody mentioned, I think it was you, Nettles, that when we have to study, study, study is what I'm saying.
Right.
Because even I, with a master's degree in criminology, bachelor's in criminal justice, what they taught me in school is not necessarily what I needed to know just
No.
to be a citizen in the street.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
So,
Political
right,
science. I took political science. It didn't tell me everything that I needed to know
right,
either. So I
And
get it.
me and
right,
Deb talked about this. It says, and it's not. Me and Deb talked about this. It's not school. People's like, oh, school. I said it's a tool. Yes, for you to be in a certain stature or a certain amount, you got to have certain things.
right.
It don't have nothing. It don't have to have nothing to do with your job, right?
It was made by the Rockefeller and the Morgans and all that to keep us with the jobs. Like
Yes,
we are we have to understand that legal, an example of legal is it is legal to purchase alcohol at 21 in the United States.
right,
A lawful arrest must comply with constitutional protections. See that?
Right.
right,
Right.
So it says constitution, then there's man-made stuff, right? You
Right.
know, a violation of, we have statutes, codes, acts. That's why they call police officers policy enforcers. Those that know. I call myself a police officer, but there's a reason why the word police is close to policy.
right. That's the same stature.
Okay.
Same
So
same
if
name.
we need policy enforcers like me in the system
To keep
working in
them
these places to keep it the way it's
in
supposed to.
order.
Not to keep
In
it, to
order.
put it in order, to put it in real order. Because you know what? Everything seems to be out of order. I wanted to.
It becomes a challenge. That even that right there, what you said, I'm sure it becomes a challenge though when it comes to policy, of course, right? Because policy coincide with law, right?
Mhm,
And our rights a lot of the
mhm.
times, so it's I'm sure even for yourself it becomes hard because
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, you know you're you you're going a lot of the times the policy doesn't go in my favor, right? But you're protecting and serving the people, a servant to see. I look at police officer as a servant to the community, you know, more than a policy enforcer as a civilian, because those policies trump my rights.
Right.
You know,
Well, there's policies are rules and regulations.
yeah,
That's it.
There's rules and
policy.
regulations within a policy, but is
Policy.
it the law?
That's why I'm saying the policies apply to you, not me. I'm not a part of that. Like for example, those policies only abide to you. Those policies don't abide to me. The law does, right? And that's
Right.
where it's a
Right.
challenge because
Well,
right,
they create policies for all of
right,
us, and that's why
right,
they want us to enforce those policies.
right,
But a lot of times, those policies that they put in place really don't pertain to the mass. They pertain to a particular set of people.
Was a particular group.
That's what
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
talking. Now we're
That's
cooking
right.
with adobo. Now we're cooking with adobo and sazon. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I gotta because
Please.
I do work for the bureau, and a disclaimer, these are my views, these are my opinions and perceptions. They are not of the bureau that I work for. Okay, we got that out of the way.
Boom. That's why I said earlier, my views are my views, not everybody else's views.
You guys saw the disclaimer. You saw the disclaimer, right?
Yes,
There's
thank
a
you.
disclaimer.
'Cause
That's a disclaimer. And
Yeah.
speaking about that, because we got to go right into it. We got to go right into
Yes.
it. We're going right
New
into
song?
Granny Wowzers.
You got a new song? Oh,
Woo-wee.
you see that I do that, Angel Kim? They got a new song they harmonizing.
I see that. I love it.
I'm trying to bring the band back together. I'm trying to bring the band back together.
Let's go.
They doing secret songs.
No, I'm just saying, like, Granny has a lot going on here. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
go straight to it.
My
This is
views are
called-
mine alone, okay? So don't nobody come, the audience,
Hey.
don't you come for nobody on this stage. They're my views, and I own them.
You
I
heard
mean,
them.
you know, like I said, we're all poets, and poets, they keep up with current events, y'all. That's what we do.
Yes.
We are mandated reporters.
Well,
What's
I
going on?
write from my own personal feelings. So everything I write has something to do with that I'm passionate about. So that's why I said this is my views.
Right.
You might agree, you might not, and that's okay too. That's what
But
it's
that's
about.
the thing that we always tend to write about, even though they're your views, they tend to be about something that's currently occurring,
Right.
right? It's
Yeah.
current events. That's
Yeah,
what
you
we're
have to
doing.
view
Right.
something. You have to view something to say something,
Right.
right? You have to
That's
view
what we
something.
do, and it's okay. Like,
I-
say it with your chest. Mm-hmm.
I'll say it with my whole chest, unfortunately.
You see my chest?
Uh-oh. Shout out to Nettles, Mr. Workout guy.
Chest,
We gotta
say
have a-
something. He's in the chest, say something. Okay.
We see you, Nettles.
We see you. All right, y'all.
Shout out,
This
shout
is-
out. Let's hear
this-
this beautiful piece, man.
Let's go,
I know
y'all.
it's
Y'all
beautiful.
ready?
Conductor,
Ready.
I've seen evil before, but not like this. Not this deep. Not this wide. Not this relentless. This time, evil is stretching across a whole country, gripping it by the throat. And my emotions, they're blown, scattered, damn near unrecognizable. I'm scared. Scared they're coming for my son after placing him on some list. Scared they're gonna take everything and strip us of what little we used to survive. Scared that the only choice they're leaving people like me with is no choice at all. Give up your child. For what? To place them in a wellness camp? Will you force labor? And you make them work for free or to pennies on the dollar? How heartless can a regime be? How do they sleep at night? Huh? Can they not feel what they've done? Do they not hear the fear? Do they not see the trembling in our bones? All I ever wanted was to live, to raise my son, to be the strongest version of himself, the most independent soul he could be. So when it's my time and I'm almost gone, I don't have to worry if he's okay. I don't have to wonder if love will still surround him. I dreamed of grandbabies being free, truly free, to be whoever they wanted to be, to wear their truth like a crown, to walk in pride, to be a woman who don't have to shrink, to be a man who don't have to break. But now, I fear famine, disease, some twisted real-life Handmaid's Tale nightmare slinking through the future. If there's even a future left. I wanted my babies to feel proud of every piece that made them whole. But instead, we got people making excuses, turning from the truth, standing behind a man with no heart and too much damn power. I've never disliked a president so much. They said, it's just 4 years. But no one before him wrecked this much, this fast. He's dismantled everything. Everything my people fought so hard for, just to survive, to vote, to breathe. And now I ask, what does land of the free even mean? Feels like a crazy ass movie I didn't buy no ticket to. I'm hoping, praying, the real melts and the whole production finally ends. 'Cause in just 100 days, he broke spirits. He ruined lives. And I don't even want to imagine what hell he's still holding behind that crooked smile. So tell me, where do we stop this train? Where is the conductor exchange? Because I'm ready to move on if there's anything left to move on to.
Oh, wee. Wow.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
a lot. That's you let it all out.
With my
Man,
whole chest.
with your whole
Yeah,
chest.
like Adele
Said it
said.
Say it with your chest. She said it with your
Now,
Yeah.
Listen, that hit
mhm.
on so many levels. You address so much with that one piece. Just the challenges of motherhood with a child that has autism, with what's going on in the government right now, with everything that's being torn down, and how people are being left feeling out there in the world. Like there's levels to this piece. Oh my gosh. This right here is a conversation starter for real. You did
I
that.
that is
Thank you. I
deep.
appreciate that.
Deep. Snaps out to you, Granny. Very deep.
That's one of those
No,
late night can't sleep and you got a lot of words on your mind and you know this just coming at you with all kinds of craziness and you got to write it out. That's why I always encourage our audience, you know, who's watching when you're feeling heavy, you're feeling it, what's going on, the craziness in the world. There's an outlet for
Exactly.
you to release it, and that is in your writing. Write it out. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't even have to make sense to anybody else but you. And that's what my pieces are about. That's me. I can't sleep. I have to get the words out of my brain. And after I write it out, I'm not saying it makes the issue go away, but I do feel like I released it into that piece. I put everything I have into my pieces. And again, audience, you don't have to rhyme and you don't have to make it make sense to anybody else but to you. And that's what's important is the healing part of it is writing it and letting it go.
The
Hmm
scariest, you said something right, real deep, because you talked about children, right? And when you have children and everything, they come a part of you. You only get to protect them for 5 years. And let me tell you what I mean by you only get to protect them for 5 years. They're in your house, right? They get know your ways, your truths. You feed them what you want to feed them. You change and you put on the clothes you want to do. Then when they leave the door to go to their first day of school and be exposed to the world, to different germs, to different way other people teach them. Now they starting taking over maybe spirits or like, hey Joey, you didn't never used to do that. Well, that's learned behavior for something else, right? And then they see something else, and then they see something else, and then the world starts attacking them. And only thing you had to do was have 5 years to protect them, to guide them to a certain place or a certain frame of mind. I was terrified when my daughter was on the bus. My daughter one day came off the bus crying. Bang, 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 bang. Who hurt her? Who hurt her? Because that parent over there taught them something differently than I would teach them something differently. I might teach them peace. That might teach them hurt. Or they may interpret that a different way. Then we got the FEMA camps and the things, because I heard people don't understand how real it is. They want to strip you of everything.
Yeah, no, yep. And to add on to that too, you know, like I know there's a lot of influences from the outside, right? There's always a lot of influences from the outside. And one thing that I always, you know, remember for sure is we the people. You know, we the people. You know, especially as
Right.
parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody's gonna no. At the end of the day, you know, nobody is gonna dictate what the truth is that I'm teaching my children.
That's right.
Um, because the same way you're fighting for what's right and what's wrong is the same as you're going to instill in the generations in your children.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, and we all know this from experience, is, you know, from a youth, you know, it's a constant attack on the youth as far as what's being taught. And it gives the children that rebellious nature, because even myself, I speak for myself. When I look back at my youth, I had a rebellious spirit to nature based off of everything else I was being taught outside of my house. So it
Mm-hmm.
wants to rebel from what was being taught to me, which was my foundation, right? So, well, you know, with a lot of bit of faith, you know, and consistency with showing our kids the difference and our youth the difference, it goes a long way, right? And unfortunately, you know, the everything that's outside of our home, you know, in the schools and the public education systems, especially now, hey,
And social media.
Social media, the
complete
biggest.
opposite of what we're teaching our kids. And it was the complete, well, what I was learning outside of my house was the complete opposite of what was being taught to me, right? So you know, we just got to remind ourselves that we the people. Nobody's going to dictate, especially us as adults now. Nobody's going to dictate what is right and what is wrong, right?
Yep.
So you know, just continue to advocate, continue to spread your perspective and your expressions, because you know, without that voice, nobody's gonna hear it.
That's
Nobody's
right.
gonna hear
That
it.
Bowser.
Power
You know,
is the people.
snaps
Amen.
out, snaps
I
outside.
Right.
totally agree.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you. I
certain, it's
appreciate it.
certain things because oh man, because I'm with Angel on this. Like it's a whole bunch of stuff that skills is going through my body and stuff like that, right? Right? Because look, I'm a black man in America that they said a black man in America don't take care of his family,
Mhm.
right? That's the biggest misconception, right? Or if
A huge lie.
the huge lie.
Big.
Look, yeah,
Very big lie.
I could have got married when my kids was infants, right? I could have got married. I could be like, yo, you know, let's. But the most joyous thing is they was in my wedding right next to me.
Oh
They
man,
saw. You understand what I'm saying? They
now you gonna make me cry.
look, the illest, right? So
That's dope.
my,
Yeah.
so they got to see me marry their mother instead of me
Mm,
saying, "Yeah, me and your mother been married 10 years." Oh man, I would have loved to see that. Now
Right.
they get to see love.
Yep.
mm.
You want to go to school? To be a doctor, I want to jump on stage, yeah. But they get to see that. So, like, when Granny says, I gotta hold my children, I gotta protect them, I gotta show them things that might be hard. Sometimes it's hard to put food on the table. Them kids don't know if you got $10, $20 in your pocket.
That's the truth.
Right? Because you want to keep the lights on. Right? You want to do this, but like you said, social media, now we fighting against the whole computer system.
Right?
Yeah.
We continue to teach.
That's so true.
You to teach love, because one thing, that's something that it don't got to be taught. Hate is taught. I believe that hate is taught. I believe I've shared this. I've taught my kids this. I've explained this to my kids that we are born out of love. We are literally born out of love. When your parents came together, they made you out of love, right? So when you're born, you don't know hate until it's taught, right?
That's
so us being is a responsibility to explain and to show the difference between hate and love and the harsh realities of what comes with it. What comes with the hate is really prevalent. It's real. But shout out to you, Granny Wowzers. I know we going to
I appreciate that.
Yes, Wowzy. And I think one more thing, Granny, and I think because Trump didn't win, sometimes I wish maybe if we would have let him win the first time, he would have been, his 8 years would have been done. But because that in between 4-year mark, he came back with anger. More anger, more resentfulness towards they didn't choose me. Wait till I get back into office. Because I just read something, North Carolina is asking for hurricane relief, and he denied it.
He's denying it. Yeah, FEMA is pretty much no more because he's not funding them. But that's a whole other story, Nettles, and I will go for days up into that. But we ain't got time for it.
We gotta get to a commercial break, y'all. We gotta take our first commercial, y'all. But this is getting so good.
Yes,
I meant it. That I was.
You said it with your chest.
My whole chest.
She's still 10 toes down.
In the chancletas and everything.
The chancletas. I love it. No, she didn't say the chancletas. She said chancletas, y'all. All right, y'all. Shout out to Floetic Video Box, y'all. Make sure y'all stay tuned. No doubt we're living in a chaotic world as we try to keep our authentic selves using our power within, yet I don't understand why so many people uncomfortable in their own skin. I mean, what kind of impression we're trying to make when I can see right through the Maybelline that your intention with me isn't genuine, it's artificial and fake. Take a moment. Let's think about that for a minute or two. We connect, we disconnect the second we don't agree. And to me, I may be bugging, but why are you aiming your weapons at me? You see, I feel the need to examine your dislike for me when sometimes I truly just don't give two fucks what you truly think about me. Then, my mystical love for the wisdom of the stars and the energy from afar creeps up and I ask, what the fuck you want from me? What I'm really trying to do here is embrace the love I thought you may have once had for me. And you question my clarity, my perception of how things unfold. But truthfully speaking, you act like our love is gold when you're acting like it's really old. And I'm just saying, you know what? Brand new me sees actions with unvexed clarity. Pedantically speaking, it's the seesaw energy, up and down, up and down, up and down. That really has me disregarding stability. Since I'm speaking to the transmission of meaningful energy that cancels all lack of reassurance, you're trying to ingrain in me no discrepancy. It's my journey of discovery through the energy I experience. When you attempt to connect with me, gaslighting is not welcomed in my vicinity. So don't ask me why I'm moving cautiously. It's because trying to avoid letting you take away my life quality with insults, I have to protect my internal way of cultivation. I choose me, not wasting my life. I won't receive your method of calculation. I am beautiful without no one's validation. I am complete, yes, wholeness without competition. And celebrating me doesn't mean
I am seeking accolades and recognition. I feel amazing, knowing my movement is key to protecting not only my energy, but how I move authentically, with kindness. Because yes, I have been exposed in my walk through the darkness, never feeling less. Walking through the pain and suffering, I remain fearless. So I refuse to allow anyone to affect my growth. With you, as I am, on my spiritual platitude. So if you're asking yourself, why am I brand new? Know this. It's not about a superpower or a curse. This is how I know I know how I feel when I walk in a room. The minute I walk into the room, it's called discernment. How you see me. And I've had it since birth. And I have no desire for conflict or stress, nor feeling your intention is to make me feel less, since we all want to be the light. Yet you're uncomfortable in the darkness. Say less. I can't only be useful in the testing times in any situation. There are too many versions of me in your mind. All the while I thought you saw me as light and kind. But I'm not confined by how you define me. It's allowing the space to process your disregard for me in this silent noise I call haste. In this silent noise I call haste. I'm Dr. Poetry. Hey, shout out to Floetic Video Box. You can see videos 24.7.
So dope.
Yeah, snappy snap.
Snaps to the poetic
Yeah, I love
video.
that. I love
You
that.
can find Poetic Video Box on Fridays at 6 p.m. On the Alliance Network app, on Roku TV, on
Shout out to
Dr.
Pretext.
Poetry. Mondays, we have the Poetic Clinic, which airs at 5 p.m. Tuesdays, we have the DJ Chili Chill Show, hosted by DJ Chili Chill, Mr. Nettles Owens himself, and AD. That's at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, y'all. And Wednesdays, we have Floetic Justice, which airs at, I believe it's 5:55 p.m.
Is it Granny? 5:55?
I believe
Yeah, it is
so.
5:55.
Yeah,
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 it is
5:55.
5:55 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time. All these air times are Eastern Standard Time. So Wednesdays we have Floetic Justice at 5:55 p.m. with Dr. Poetry and myself as well. Thursdays we have the
What in the boring game?
Wait, Nettles, how do you say it, Nettles?
What in the Boricua? Boricua.
No, we're gonna learn today. Zap, teach him today, please, because he is messing up that.
Why
And
you
the
messing up
Puerto
my
Rican is
I had to ask you.
Why are you messing up my broken Spanish?
nah, because the first time you was like, what? Yo, now I gotta let y'all know what in the bunkers is going on, yeah.
Yeah,
But
you know, you heard. Let's go.
No, it's what in the, say with me, Borinquen.
But who?
Borinquen.
Listen,
Borinquen.
y'all gonna have to give me. Listen, y'all gonna have to give me.
Borinquen.
Brinque?
There you go, Borinquen.
Borinque. I'm about to get
Hey.
Spanish for dummies.
Snaps
what I'm
out.
gonna do.
Borinquen.
Snaps off for Nettles try.
Borinquen. As a matter of fact, you can be on the Puerto Rican Day panel.
Look, that's the poetry.
You get a seat on the Puerto Rican Day panel.
I'm in, right? Listen,
Look, just send me the cliff notes. I just want the
Yeah,
cliff
because
notes.
I'm like,
Borinquen.
I'm about to get Spanish for dummies. I got
Go
to.
ahead, Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh,
Because you're breaking
no.
out. You're going. It sounds like you're like on voice isolation. You're going in and out. Say it again. What were you
For me?
saying? No, Jeff.
Yeah,
Oh.
so hey y'all. Thursdays we have What in the Borican. Fridays,
What in the Borican?
Poetic Video Box. PM. And then Saturdays, Hear Me Out Poetry, 7 p.m. every Saturday. That's the lineup. You guys can check us out at www.hearmeoutpoetry.com. You can email us and reach out if you guys are inspired. If you guys want to share any pieces, have any questions, you can email us at hearmeoutpoetry7@gmail.com. And also, if you would like to be a guest, you can reach out. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me okay?
Right
Yeah,
now,
we're hearing
you're
you.
good.
Yeah,
Right now,
you're perfect,
right now,
clear.
now you're good.
You guys can also reach out at area code 787-401-9965. That is the Hear Me Out Poetry direct line. Please feel free to call, leave a message. If you guys want to be a host, you guys want to share any poetry, and if you guys are interested in being a part of the shows, we have a lineup. We have a fun lineup, y'all. All different types of shows, all great hosts, and beautiful expressions. Please check us out. We encourage y'all to follow us on all social media platforms, and please share it. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends, and spread the word. Spread the word, y'all.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. All
Right.
right.
Don't forget, we got the wonderful
Discuss it.
Angel. Don't forget, Granny, we got the wonderful Angel Kim who made us.
Yes.
She almost got canceled the damn show because emotional distress. Because it was so beautiful.
Our sudden development
I
of
know.
emotions was quite disturbing
was-
for me.
But it was powerful,
powerful.
beautiful, and very very from the heart, speaking
That's right.
from a mother, and that's important.
Very.
Yeah, it
I love
is. It's very important, very much needed, and you need to say that everywhere you go. That's like a epic poem that just it need to be everywhere
Right.
because that is you could man. You made Dr. Poetry say yeah. I'm pretty sure that ain't easy to do for the
Listen, I'm honored. I'm
for
just
her line of,
honored.
right, but for her line of work that she,
Right.
because a lot of people misconception. A lot of people just say, "I hate the police, please," but they don't understand that's a tough job to step in danger of something outside of the door that you don't know.
Right.
Right.
You know what's interesting that you say that? A lot of people say that, and
Hey, sunshine.
I'll say this. Hey, sunshine. I'll say this really quickly, y'all, and I'm saying this with the most seriousness that I have within me right now. If you want to be the change, if you want to change, be the change.
Right.
If you want something to change, you have to be the clean glass to get it done. You're not gonna marinate in the mud. You have to be the change. If you see things you don't like, change yourself. I could have done this whole channel based on just pure entertainment comedy and cha 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 and boo 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 and Mickey Mouse stuff. But I
Right.
chose to do poetry where I know that people are going to come here and express exactly what they feel, and it does talk about social change. It does talk about racism and colorism, the ugly truth. Boogie's
Yeah.
coming out our nose sometimes. We have to get to it so we can get through it. And so if we don't, I could have done a lot of things. In fact, I could have just mind my business and not done anything and just still be a cop over here, 18 years, and just go get my pension. But I'm here doing this. Dr. Poetry is doing this. So every time I hear people say, I can't stand cops, fuck her, she ain't real, you have the right to your opinion. But at the end of the day, I sleep well because I know that I'm making a change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's all that matters.
That's where I'm
Snaps
at with
out
it.
to that.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Out to that.
Yeah,
No, I really,
snaps
that's where
out.
I'm at with it.
And-
Yeah.
and-
Because it's important. It's important to do something. You have to do something. Even if you totally disagree with anybody and everything that's being said here on this panel, the point here is to do something. Stand for something or fall for nothing, right?
Right, because people talk and sometimes they're not making any sense. Sometimes people are just making noise. We want to make sense, not noise, because everybody could talk, but are we really communicating?
And I miss those days of what do you want to be when you grow up? Because it was very important to pick your occupation when you was a kid. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a cop. I want to be a fireman. Now
You know what?
I want OnlyFans clubs. I want
Right.
to be a YouTube star. I want to
be a social media guru
Right.
or whatever.
I want to be a Kardashian.
I want to be
let's come on now.
Or even worse, I want to be a bottle girl. I've heard that.
Right.
Like what?
I want
What?
to be a bottle girl.
Yeah,
Yes.
the ones that go
I
around with the
heard I
bottle.
heard an
I know
8-year-old
what it
say
is,
that.
but it's just like one of
This
those things that makes you stop as a mother or as a parent or even as a just a human being and go, "What?"
But this is what they see on social media. They
and
see the video vixens, they see the bottle girls, they see
Mhm.
the girls who don't want to work, who want to use their bodies to get what they
mhm.
mm,
Right
And what
there.
that does, Angel
Right.
Kim, and what
You're
that
right,
does,
Angel.
and
Angel's
what
right.
that does, Angel Kim, that makes them not have no pension.
Right.
so they go alter these bodies because they think that these alterations make them look good, and it
Yeah.
makes them look like Muffet babies,
But
distorted
you,
Muffet
Uh,
babies at
but you
that.
have no, but you have
Um
no pension.
I call them
yeah,
cabbage patch
You don't have
kids.
no, you don't have
Cabbage
no
patch.
social
They patched
security.
up like cabbage
Your, your,
patches.
your body will change if you
more
have a
like the
baby.
garbage pail
You,
kids,
your,
but yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Angel.
Right.
Angel said more garbage pail.
Yo, that's the ugly. That was the
You know
ugly
that's the
stickers on the
ugly
lunch
truth, though.
boxes. The garbage pail
I got
kids.
explosive
Oh,
booties.
Because
you
think about
killed
it.
it. She's so
wait, like
When
my
right.
they
boo
get
boo
so
character.
so so let's be honest with it.
Garbage
When they
pail
get
kid.
so much done that it starts
Hmm.
making them look like not themselves, and we've seen that with
Yeah.
who was that, like Big Ange, who had so much work done on her face to a
Yes.
point where she looked like a
No.
Muffet baby cartoon character
Yeah. Look
instead
at
of
little
an
Kim.
actual human.
Little Kim was
And
beautiful.
look, Lil Kim is another one. Like she's had so much work done. She looks like the leprechaun off of the movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But and she was gorgeous. But it's a mental
She was.
thing. And
Yeah.
that's been ingrained into them,
Yeah.
thinking that they're not beautiful, they're not pretty.
Right.
So it's a mental thing. And even though they're changing everything on the outside, they didn't change what's on the inside.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
So in their head, it doesn't matter what they get done, they're still not pretty. So they
Right.
keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it till their
Hmm.
point where they're killing themselves, to the point where they look horrible, but they don't see it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they won't
And I,
until they start aging.
they don't change
They
the
don't even
Right.
see it then.
what the problem is that this is in rice and beans. You can change the frame as many times as you want, but the picture is still the same.
Yes.
You can change the frame as much as you want, but that picture is still the same. And in
Right.
fact, it may be even worse because now there's self-hatred.
Yeah.
There was probably a seed of it and it grew into a tree of self-hatred.
I remember the Angela Bassett's, the Celine Dion's, the Angela Bassett's, the Angela Bassett is 70, but she looks
Beautiful.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
a prime example. Ruby D. You understand what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Ruby D. Remember?
Well,
Did
what's
she
my
pass?
no? Yeah, Ruby D passed.
Absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous. Yes, she
What,
did.
what, what about my girl, Foxy Brown?
The
Yes.
Alicia
original.
Rashad,
The
Yes.
original. Please
Yes,
say the original.
Sanaya Layton. I mean,
right,
we're
Yes.
talking
Yeah,
about
the
some
original
gorgeous.
Foxy
ni-
Brown.
Yeah,
right.
Yes.
the original.
The original Foxy Brown, right?
Mhm.
Like,
But you have some out there who don't change their looks for social media, like Nina Long. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? Sanaa
Oh,
Layton,
she's yeah.
Angela Bassett. You
right.
know, these are
Right.
women, these are queens who stand in their beauty, and they
I,
don't go alter themselves for anything.
I love when
They
Hmm.
Alicia
age
Keys took,
well because they take care of
I
themselves.
love when Alicia Keys took off her makeup,
I
right?
love that too. I love
Yes.
that too. I love
Listen,
Alicia Keys. She was like, "This is me. I don't care."
that's
I mean, I'm not gonna bash anybody. I'm not gonna be a faker here. I don't bash anybody for putting on
Right.
makeup.
right.
You put on makeup if you feel like putting makeup. I like makeup, so whoever don't like it, too bad.
No, it's
But what I'm
cool.
saying is, but when you cover yourself so much that we can't even see who you are
Right.
anymore, and if the man
Right.
that sleeps next to me doesn't
Yes.
recognize me, get out of my
When he
face.
wakes up in the morning and he goes, huh?
Yeah, where that girl at? No, no,
No, if he takes you
where that
swimming
girl
and you
at?
come out
It's
the pool a
happened.
different
Okay, it's
person,
happened.
then yeah,
Hey,
it's a problem.
no, no, that's why you gotta take a shower
That
the first
too.
time you're with them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take a shower so they can see you everything. And what am
It's
I
just
saying?
See, men, we understand.
it's
We
like did you say
understand.
right,
Just take a
right,
shower.
Dad?
Like
You
you
just
just take
don't
a
like when
shower.
you just alter your whole shaboing boing.
Hey, you know, it's funny. It's
Right.
funny.
And
It's funny. I just seen a video the other day. I think it was yesterday, and it had me cracking up. And it was this dude. He was getting home with his date, right? And he sits on the couch, and he's like, and he takes off his beard.
Give me that.
He peels off his beard. He peels off his mustache, and he's like, "Oh, that feels so much better." Like, I feel so much better. And she's like, "Is that?" She's like, that wasn't yours. And he was like, "Of course it's mine. I paid for it." Right? And he put it down. And he put it down all neat. And he put it down nice and neat, right? And he's like, "Oh, I thought you had a beard, you know." And he's like,
You're gonna have to send me that one.
Yeah, he's like, "Nah, well, you know, I
That's
just got this the other day, and shoot, I'm trying to get me a goatee, you know, like, but, and it was like I was just watching this, and I'm like, damn, like, just the fact that he said that, he was like, "Of course it's mine. I paid for it," you know, like, you know, and just that.
But
whole,
see, that's that
whole,
double standard that comes in. That
Yeah.
women can do it, but men
that's
can't.
exactly what it is, right?
And that's why I want the video, because my brothers would get a kick out of that.
I'm gonna have to send it to you. I was cracking up. I was cracking because
like
it,
that.
you know, it's just going off of what y'all was saying,
Right.
there. I mean,
It does.
Yeah.
Because
And you know
funny.
what? We're aware.
Right,
We're aware.
right,
Go
Go
right.
ahead, Angel Kim. I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say that plays right into. I've seen so many videos where men have gone into barbershops now with like little hair and grayed up, and then they come out looking like 20 years younger because now they have hair where they've gone in and added the hair and trimmed them up and dyed their beards
I've seen
and
it.
you know I've seen those videos,
Mm-hmm.
but we can't
I've
be
seen
mad
it
at
in
that
real
because
life.
we've seen women we've seen women do it all the time. So
Right.
it's that double standard that's there, but you know, we become in this notion that we can't just be ourselves, that we
Right.
have to change ourselves in order to appease others, but we're
Right.
not appeasing ourselves, we're appeasing others. When are we
Yeah.
going to start living for ourselves? Now, don't get me wrong, makeup is a blessing for a lot of people,
Right.
including myself, because I have bad allergies. So I can't constantly keep dark circles around my eyes looking like somebody beat me up. And I've gone to the doctor, and the doctor's literally pulled me to the side and said, "Are you safe at home?" You know what? Let me put some makeup on. Yes, I'm safe at home.
It got this
But
stuff this cucumber stuff. This cucumber stuff. No, for real. Like if you
I love Nettles.
that'll help you it's a lot of stuff that we just don't dig deep into. Like if
I
you go
do.
oh
through
no,
the
I get a
I'm
box
using
every
stuff,
month.
Yeah.
I get a
and they
box
clear
every
Let her,
month.
let
they
her
clear
land
up
her
the come
plate.
right back.
okay.
Yeah, they clear up coming. But what I'm saying is makeup is a blessing to a lot of people who have skin conditions and things like that. But
Right.
when you have nothing wrong with you and you're using makeup to alter who you are, that's where the problem
Right.
is. That's
Yeah.
that's the problem I have. I shouldn't have to dip you in a pool to see who you truly are. Don't
Right.
hide
Right.
behind your makeup,
Yeah, that's
is
crazy.
what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
all.
I love
If
I love
if
my
they're gonna
lipstick.
love you, they're gonna love you regardless.
Yeah, but you got to be happy with
Exactly.
that. That's why I always say, like,
And
I got a box every month, and I love
mhm.
like the skin stuff. I'm really big on skin products, like to treat your skin, because I live on the island. The sun is very strong, so I'm really big on
Oh yeah.
sunspots and all that stuff, making sure that my skin is being taken care of. Because I think that's the best. That's the best makeup. Your skin, you got good skin, everything is great. But I like my lip gloss. I'm that girl with the lip gloss. Come on, Granny, you got some red lipstick. I love my
I know.
cha cha red lipstick. I love my. I don't do no eyelashes. I don't do none of my
I only
eyebrows
wear
and my
lipstick
eyebrows.
when
This
I'm
is my
going out.
hair. I'm
Yeah, but
good. I
you're
ain't got
not
nothing
gonna
to worry
go
about nothing.
Dr.
But yeah,
Poki,
yeah,
you're not gonna see Dr. Kevorkian. So
No,
exactly, exactly,
no. This is
exactly.
natural. Yeah,
And I
and
like
that's
listen,
my
natural.
and
right.
and for us, I'm embracing my age because I didn't think I was gonna get this age, right? So I love my gray hairs. It was a crew.
Right.
I don't even know if you guys know the name of a crew. They're called the Silver Fox Crew.
Yes, I've seen them.
Silver Fox Crew.
Them
It sounds
dudes is
familiar.
bad. And I said,
Yeah,
yeah, baby.
they bad, all right.
Come on.
It makes me mad that they're
Def,
not single.
Def, you're gonna
Right.
get. They're
And that's
not
really
single.
not
Listen
single.
to Granny.
No, I know all about them. Trust me, because I'm a
Look
salt
at
and
you.
pepper woman. Like I like that gray and the
That's
silver. I
salt and
love it.
pepper.
Oh
My
my
hair,
goodness.
you all know when I started the
Listen,
show,
that's
my hair was my
sexy.
natural.
See?
Thank you. My
See?
hair was natural, going gray. The only reason why it's purple now is to correct some of the other things I have going on. Because when you're getting older, your hair is like patchy color. So
Right.
this is color correcting. But once it's corrected, I'll rock my gray.
I want turquoise hair. Because
Go,
I want
go like
the
this.
beat.
Yeah, salt and pepper.
The poetry, go like
Yeah,
this.
it was a silver fox. It was a
Right?
silver fox squad. You heard
Yeah,
Nettles?
care about none of
Yeah.
that.
It was a silver fox squad.
Yeah, the Silver Fox Squad. Yep, them boys.
Yep.
Them boys.
Let me find out you put in an
Oh,
application.
they
Yeah,
dress
the Silver Fox.
sharp.
Yeah,
They're sharp. They
they-
come to it.
they make me want to be successful. They want me to wear
Okay.
the suits. They want me to. They age gracefully.
How they want you to wear if you always wear a t-shirt?
They make me
Because
want to get married.
I told you they gotta pay us. They gotta
Okay,
pay
so
us,
you got to put out the blazer with the t-shirt. That's a
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
good
yeah.
look.
You know.
Like the days with the Adidas, you know what I mean, with the sneakers. That's a cool
That's
look
what
too.
I'm now.
All right, but listen, y'all, this
No, I'm
conversation we could. I
I'm-
love
I
y'all.
know
We could be
we're
here
gonna
all
go
night.
for
You know,
forever.
we have one more bit. Okay, so we got one more for
I got a
Granny.
blazer that matches this. I got the fly stuff now.
Oh my gosh! Don't you see? We got Nettles started now. When Nettles calm down, we're gonna come back.
I got the fly. The fly
We got
stuff.
another piece, Nettles. We'll look at your shoes in a minute.
We got okay, when we come back, put on your suit. We're gonna go
Put
right
in the
into we're gonna go into All Shades of Storm by Granny WOWZERS, y'all. All
Yes,
Shades
sir.
of Storm. Shout out to Granny WOWZERS.
All Shades of Storm by a mother who knows bipolar by name. I've held storms in my arms, not thunder, not rain, but my baby girl's body limp from the weight of the world she never asked to carry. Eyes rolled back, lips trembling, hyperventilating while the room forgot to breathe. I became the air she needed, the ground she collapsed on, a mother trying to be more than just strong. 4 daughters,
All shades
4 heart
of
beating with different rhythm.
by a mother who knows bipolar by
2
name.
wired with a storm
I've
inside.
held storms in my arms,
Bipolar,
not thunder, not
not
rain,
one size fits all.
but my baby
Not a mood
girl's body
swing,
limp
not an attitude,
from the weight of the world,
but a whole
she never
ocean
asked to
rising,
carry.
falling with no warning.
Eyes rolled back, lips
Bipolar 1.
trembling,
The highs climb
hyperventilating
too high.
while the room forgot to breathe.
Delusions of grandeur, racing
I
thoughts that
became
burn
the
like
air
fire through the night
she
that
needed.
crashes
The
so
ground
deep.
she collapsed on,
You think
a
her
mother
soul cracked
trying
open.
to be more than just
Bipolar 2. When depression drags slowly and heavy, the ups aren't sky high, just a break in the clouds. Hypermania, they call it. As if naming it makes it gentler. It doesn't. Then there's cyclothemia, like a seesaw no one can balance. Mood shifting but never landing, it sneaks in subtle, stays too damn long, never loud enough to scream, but always present. I've lived decades with daughters made of brilliance and battle. Some days I'm the lighthouse, other days I'm the raft. And then there are times where I'm the villain in their story, just trying to keep us all from drowning. I've watched joy turn into panic, dreams freeze in depression, and anxiety wraps up its fingers around the necks of their youth, but still, they rise. Still, I fight beside them, researching meds, negotiating with schools, learning every name for pain they never deserved. People see the bipolar before they see my daughter, my daughters. But I see her. I see them. The artist, the poet, the nurturer, the warrior. They say I'm strong, but it's not about my strength. It isn't about strength at all. This is survival in slow motion. This is what love looks like when it has no time to break. We are not ashamed. We are not broken. We are human, wired differently, yes, but no way less worthy of peace, of understanding, of being held like the world depends on it. Because sometimes it does. And I'll keep holding them through every crash, every climb, every silent scream behind a smile. Because I'm their mother. And this is how you raise the storm. And still, from childhood to adulthood, still believe in the sunrise. Because I am a mother who knows bipolar by name.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard this piece, but it still
And-
Oh
hits
my
me as
gosh.
hard as the first time.
If for those of you who don't know, those are my daughters in that video,
Nice.
and it's the last two that have bipolar 1 and bipolar 2, and that's what drew me into that piece, was writing and telling about their story, and having to face that, not knowing what the heck is going on with your child, is a whole nother level.
Right.
And now they're adults, and I don't want to say they're under control, but we found a method for both of them, for their own individualities, to find some level of control. But there are moments where they go, mommy, I need help.
Just say
So
just say they thriving, Granny.
right,
That's the
they're
word.
thriving, they really are. I'm so proud of these two,
Because
like so proud.
no matter what, we don't know what a child goes through mentally and everything until you talk to them, right? Until they talk to somebody they can trust. No matter what, they thriving. Nobody's perfect.
Right.
They thriving. They out of they situations. And sometimes I wish I could call mom, yo, ma, I need to talk to you, man. How the hell did you raise me and my brother?
Hey, my and let me tell you too, when it comes to bipolar, I won't stick too long on it because we got a lot more to cover before the end of the show. But when it comes to bipolar, their recollection of things is vastly different than what actually happened. So there's a lot of times where, like in my poems, sometimes I'm the warrior, sometimes I'm this, and sometimes I'm the villain in their story, because to them it'll twist their memories into something that didn't happen, and I was the target. And one of my daughter's favorite thing to tell me is, you raised me, mom, so I'm this way because you raised me. You did this to me. I didn't come out this way. You did this to me. So, and that's where you, the parent, have to sit back and just let them, voice it out, and let them, even if it's not true, it's not for you to be like, that didn't happen. No, I did everything. No, it's not for that. It's for you to listen.
Yeah.
You take it in, and then you give them compassion back.
Yep.
And that's what I try to get across to the audience. It's another level. It's all mental health. That's what I'm certified in.
I'm gonna say something, Wowzer. My uncle that I live with, he's schizophrenic. There's something, whatever. My wife's uncle, and he feels like a man is trying to take over his house. Right? I don't. That's his truth. He's not harming nobody, but I let him live his truth. Right? So if you can't say, you're not in somebody else's space or body or whatever for what they can't see and so you do the right thing. You be like, oh, okay, really?
Right.
Oh,
Exactly.
really? Oh,
Exactly.
that's
Because to
interesting.
them, that's them living their
That's their
truth.
truth.
you can't tell somebody what's not true and what
Right.
is true. You have to let them discover it on their own.
Right.
And luckily for me, it was a video era, you know, the 90s and the 2000s. Everybody had the video cameras and before the cell phones. So
Yeah.
there's lots of footage. And when they watch it, that's where the realization comes in. So I don't even have to say anything. And
Right.
they'll sit and I sit there and watch them go, oh, whoa, that's not
Right.
how I remember. I don't remember it that way. And I'm like, but it's
Mhm.
video evidence. I don't even have to correct them. I just let them
Right.
watch it and discover it on their own. And then some of the memories, some, not all the time, but some of the memories will come back. But sometimes they're so stuck in that psychosis that they can't come out of it. So it's a whole thing. And that's why I do poetic clinic, right?
Yeah.
And she does a
Right.
hell
I
of a
just
job.
want
Shout
to,
out to Granny
Yes.
Wowzers for that. That is beautiful. I love you for that. I think you do an amazing job, you and Cheesecake. And I think I texted you. I was telling you that piece always hits me because it just it's so organic and it's so raw and real, and your ability to express it through flowetry, the way you said it, and I know that must have been so challenging, and it's something that someone the viewers can pick up. And if you're going through something like that, you can resonate with that. It's not emotional, it's not trauma bonding. It's actually identifying certain things that you may not even know you have, you know? So I love that.
Right. Angel, you were
I
saying
just,
something, Deja?
Yes, she was going
I
to say
just
something.
want to say, shout out to you, first of all, as a mother, opening that doorway and opening that and being open, and not closed off to your daughters coming to you and feeling safe enough to come to you. Because
Mhm.
so many parents that deal with children that have whatever mental illnesses they have, they are so closed off because they don't want to accept it. So, first of
Right.
all, shout out to you for being open for that.
Thank
Second of
you.
all, shout out for you for being able to convey that to an audience so that we can receive it, so that we can understand it better. Because not only are you telling your truth and being vulnerable enough to tell your truth and your daughter's truth, but you are also giving us that visualization, that projection, to where we can see, oh wow, I never knew that this is what this looks like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because as outsiders looking in, we just see the behavior.
Right.
And so we
Right.
don't know what all goes on behind the scenes, right?
Hmm.
So thank you for being able to convey that in such a way that we actually can visualize that and
Hmm.
maybe better understand that. So I just want to
I
say that to
appreciate
you.
that. No, I appreciate that because
Yes.
let me tell you guys, it's been a journey. I didn't have it right. It took this mental health education and getting certified and taking 4 years of my life to get there, um, for me to understand. Because and that's okay if you don't understand, audience out there. That's what this poetic expressions and stuff is about, is to give you an insight and an eye to other perspectives and views, right, of things that are going on. Like I talk about autism, I talk about a lot of stuff, but Dr. Poetry, she's telling you about the other side of police and what she goes through and how she feels as a human being, in these positions. And we got deaf poetry who's going to tell you about things that do with military and correctionals and being a man. These are things that poems do so well in giving us that opportunity to express ourselves and to explain it. And when you can visualize something by listening to somebody's piece, or you can see it visually through the videos that we do to accompany the pieces, that means way more than saying somebody going, hey, great job, pat on the back. Because I'd rather you visualize and understand and get something out of the piece versus just sitting there and just blindly listening. You feel me?
And a lot of people do that because they don't understand, right?
Mhm.
God bless, peace and blessings to Tony Braxton. She had her son got autism, right? So her son, she sings, he sings, she sings. But when she had a child, it becomes a different. Now you understand the perspective. Now you might have visited a million. She might have visited a million sick kids throughout her career. But when it's actually on your lap, when it's actually something that you're responsible for now. Like my daughter had heart surgery. I wouldn't understand sick kids, but when my daughter had heart surgery at 3 months and she had to be plugged with a tube, now she's about to be 14, 2 months. I didn't understand the sick kid. I understand it. And my first child is sick. So off rip, I'm going in that.
Right.
Not
Right.
somebody who, because your daughter, she had heart surgery, kidney surgery. The vials didn't close in 4 days. She had to, until you live it and your feet is in the mud, you don't understand it. Right? So it's hard. It's another language. But when people like that, us that go through things are strong. That it's not easy to go into a military facility, and it's not being easy being a cop. It's not. It's none of this stuff is easy.
No. Right. And I encourage people to tell your story.
Yes.
However, whatever form, whatever expression you have, tell your story. Tell us your story. You're more than welcome to come on the show and tell us your story. But
Absolutely.
tell your story, because you don't know who's listening and who might need to hear it and have no clue. Still, in the age of social media and internet, there's still a lot of people who don't have a clue what to do. So tell your story. That's why I tell mine.
And I love Angel Kim's story. She's got a son who's like we said, on the right side of the law, and he went through a situation being on the right side of the law, right? So she got to express that through that beautiful poem. Tell them the name of the poem again.
Yeah. I think it's called Sins. Is it Angel Kim? Sin.
She's muted. Yeah.
Oh, she's muted?
No, I'm not. It's called Black Sin.
Black Sin. She got to express that in the beginning of it doesn't matter. We all, like we said, thank y'all for having us on here to tell our story again and again.
Yes. Okay. That is wonderful. I love what we got so far. We're going to change the rhythm for a little bit. We're going to go into deaf poetry and myself on, this is like a musical thing. It's in Spanish and it's called Los Celos.
Los Celos. I said that right. Yeah. Los Celos.
You sure did.
What's out?
AI, y'all. Shout out to the AI in the video. We love it.
Los Celos.
Yeah, you said it right though.
Quisiera decirte tantas cosas, pero ya sé que la vida es así.
Sé que no debo decir lo que dicta mi emoción. Siento que gustas de mí y no sé por cuál razón. Los celos me están matando. Quiero estar cerca de ti. Mi amor te está esperando.
Quisiera decirte solamente una palabra. Mía serás.
Cuando tú me estás mirando, cuando el tiempo va pasando, y yo sin poderte hablar, y yo sin poderte hablar, y yo sin poderte hablar. Lo que dicta mi emoción. Siento que gustas de mí y no sé por cuál razón. Los celos me están matando. Quiero estar cerca de ti.
Quédate sentada.
Y mi amor te está esperando. Yo te quiero hacer feliz.
Hasta el fin, como si nada, a tu lado, tu control. Podrán dar nuestras miradas. Usted me desespera. Ya no me puedo controlarme. Daría la vida entera.
Y yo sin poderte hablar.
solo puedo mirarte.
Hey.
Yo, that joint bounce, boy. Oh,
It always your stuff always makes me want to dance. I'm always like,
I'm telling you,
I'm listening to the words, but I'm still I can't help it.
that was a sexy
Dope. That
record.
was a dope track right there. It was inspired
Yeah,
by an artist. His name is Willie Colon.
Willy
And
Colon.
if you go into his a lot of his music is a lot older. If you look into his music, he's very poetic. The way he speaks, the way he writes his music is very poetic. So we you know we kind of it's almost like a cover, but our own interpretation on that, right? And I didn't do much
Mhm.
because that was all Izzy right there. I hit it with the highlights in the back. You know what I mean? Barely. So,
Yeah.
but it's a really fun piece because we complimenting a really dope artist as well, who, like I said, is just very poetic with his content, his lyrics, and it was really fun making that and recreating that into our own sound.
I
So
appreciate you saying though. I
You
yeah,
did a
appreciate that.
wonderful job.
Thank
Wonderful job.
appreciate
thank
it,
you,
man.
Nettles. I
It's fun.
appreciate that.
That
That
joint was
record,
fun.
that record is sexy. That's a sexy record, man. I put my tux on and just dance the night away with that, boy.
Thank you. I
What
appreciate
what
that.
is the English version of some of those words?
Well,
Hope
we're gonna
go.
get into this right here.
In the state the
Oh,
world is in,
my
I
bad.
find hope distant, pushed further each day, like the sun setting on a life I no longer recognize.
Ooh.
Everything I knew is being torn at the seams, shredded by the hands of a man whose skin looks like a burnt, shriveled orange. And somehow he convinced a nation that destruction was leadership. He never asked what the people truly needed. He only knew how to feed his hunger, hatred, and greed. Served in public speeches and televised rage. Each day, more is stripped away. The world I once lived in crumbles quietly, while the dream of an inclusive future runs further from reach. I turn on the news and sorrow reaches into me. Not just grief, but confusion. Why doesn't everyone see what's right in front of them? How do they smile as though as if this is progress? Pretending it's better now, as if we aren't drowning under prices and policies that steal from the poorest to feed the richest. How am I supposed to see any light when just feeding my family feels like a luxury? How do I not wake up crying when even my sleep is filled with nightmares about losing the safety I fought so hard to create? These days, I'm afraid to leave my little apartment, afraid of how the outside will treat us. If my sun looks too dark, if I sound too proud, if our disabilities put us on someone's list, where is the anger supposed to go? Where can I bury the sorrow and rage? I'm tired of pretending to understand how we survive this when every sign around me says we won't. Even other countries have seen what we refuse to see. They warned us, but closed ears don't hear. Closed eyes choose blindness. So tell me, where does hope go when it's not welcomed here? Because right now, it feels so far away.
Wee. Man, 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 man.
Whew.
You
Mm.
know how many of my damn thoughts all day,
That
Granny?
I said it with my chest.
You said it with your chest. You
Yo,
know how
for
many of my
real.
damn thoughts all day?
Snaps out to that,
Shit.
man.
Appreciate that.
that was simply
It's deep.
amazing.
It's deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that keeps me up at night. I gotta write it out.
Well, it's your you know, it's your testament, it's your testimony, you know what I mean? Like it's what, you know, it's your legacy, it's what you're leaving behind for your generations, for your children, for everybody that's you know, tuning in, and it's it's your word, it's your truth, it's powerful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not offensive to anyone. It's poetic. It's with love. It's written with love. It's written with passion. I mean,
Absolutely.
gotta respect it. I mean, anybody, you know what I mean? Like anybody's
Mm-hmm.
got to respect that. So it's dope. I appreciate it.
Thank
Snaps
you.
out to you, Granny.
Yeah.
Thank
Amazing.
you. Appreciate
Amazing.
that.
It's
I want to
needed.
be.
They
Mhm.
don't. They don't.
So
Wowzer. They don't have. They don't have records on the radio. That's what, with Tilly Chill Show and everything. They don't have records on the radio or poems on the radio that identifies consciousness.
So, yep, exactly.
We lost that a long, long time ago. They want us to be dumb, stupid, and blind.
Yep.
yep.
And if
Job.
if we could possibly have these kids add that to their repertoire with their success, right? Imagine KRS One can make money like Migos. The message in the seminars, there would be no labels because Chuck D be on the road, KRS One be on the road to get together and make their own movement. But the kids don't display messages like Kendrick is trying to
Right.
display message like that, but they still try to dumb him down because he's very, very smart and intelligent, right? And if we had a slew, where's my Public Enemies? Where's my KRS Ones? Where's all that? Why
Right.
we can't have poetry on the radio like that? Because you're gonna wake the people up.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes,
there
down.
has to be a
Oh,
balance, you know. There always has to exist a balance. I truly feel that when I created Hear Me Out Poetry and I wanted to bring this to TV, my vision is that not only are we talking about issues that matter and that no one wants to speak about, but cultures that are being overlooked, people
That
Right.
that are
part.
being overlooked.
Yes.
You know, not everything is a certain way. Not everything is always, like black and white. There's a lot of other things that are going on in the world that we have to bring to surface. And so here I Hear Me Out Poetry, we're going to have conversations in different shows about a lot of things. A lot of people may not like it. Hell, a lot of people may not like me, but you got to deal with it. You understand?
Um,
Because this is what we do. This is what I chose to do. And I do it with love every day, and I
no,
appreciate
what's
every
amazing?
poet that's come through. I love the poets that have come through every day and come through Hear Me Out Poetry. Since when? Since I've been doing this for a minute, but with the Alliance Network and what we've been doing, and now with DJ Chili Chill, I love the energy. I love that the egos are checked at the door. Everyone seems to be working, loving each other, and I love that. That's what makes this work. So shout out to all the poets that have come through Hear Me Out Poetry and
Yes.
love us, and we love you back. And if you don't, that's okay. We here. We still doing what we got to do, because at the end of the day, poetry is life, and life is poetry.
Boom. And
yes.
poetry makes music.
That's
Angel
right,
Kim,
And
poet.
what's
she
amazing,
had a point.
poetry
Yeah.
does make music. No, I just want to say what's amazing is when you use your platform, poetry like that to the forefront, to bring music like that to the forefront, because you're right. All they want is what makes us look bad.
Mm-hmm.
If we start integrating into everything we do this type of consciousness and make them accept it, they have
Mm,
no choice
Right.
to accept it
They
Right.
have to stay at the
because they
table.
Right.
can't accept it if
That's
we're
right.
not accepting it.
That's right, Angel. That's
That's
right.
why I am so proud of this movement, because a lot of people didn't understand what's floetic echoes. What's that? Floetic, I came up with that concept. I'm very proud to say that's my genre. Floetic echoes. You know, I like that there's a lot of things that are being said over and over again throughout a piece that people need to take home with. Because sometimes they get caught up in the aesthetics of what color or the what they're doing or what she's wearing or the titles or the professions, but listen to what they're saying. That's why I like a cappella poetry, when we recite, but I also like to throw in a little glaze and sprinkles. But with that being said, y'all, we gotta get out of here. It's about that time, y'all.
We're gonna
Yeah, Sunshine's letting me know too. He's like,
Oh,
look here, it's
I love
lunchtime.
y'all. Shout out to y'all. Thank you, Nettles, and thank you,
this
Miss
is
Angel
fun.
Yes,
Kim.
yes.
Love y'all. We'll
Yeah.
see y'all next Saturday, y'all. Woohoo!
Batch of Pearls was created